I'm reaching for my federal credentials, officer. Inside pocket. Sergeant Derek Holloway laughs, loud, mocking. Federal credentials? A black woman? At my checkpoint? He steps closer. His voice drips contempt. Sweetheart, the only thing you're marshalling is that knockoff purse. His fingers wrap around her throat. Thumb on windpipe. Grip tightening. I've dealt with your kind my whole career. Another black woman who doesn't know her place. Travelers watch. A businessman smirks. A teenager films, laughing. Someone mutters, "Just comply, honey." No one helps. No one questions. Phones record. Comments pour in. Angela Dawson stands silent. Lets them mock. Lets them judge. Lets his hand squeeze. Because in 3 minutes, a phone call will reveal who she really is. Federal Air Marshal. 12 years. Badge 6291. The officer who just grabbed a black woman's throat at the airport? He has no idea what's coming. Stay with this. Angela Dawson steps through the crew corridor at 9:32 p.m. Her shoulders carry 14 hours of flight time. Seattle to Denver. Denver to Atlanta. Atlanta to Miami. 3 planes. 2 time zones. 1 long day guarding passengers who never knew she was there. That is the job. Invisible protection. Silent vigilance. She has done it for 12 years. Her personnel file runs 43 pages. 0 complaints. 2 commendations for resolving incidents without drawing her weapon. Her supervisors describe her as calm under pressure. Her colleagues call her the one you want beside you when things go sideways. She earned her badge at 26. Fresh out of the academy. Top of her class in threat assessment. Second in firearms. First in de-escalation techniques. The instructors noticed her gift. The ability to read a room. To sense tension before it erupted. To speak in a voice that made angry people pause. Now she teaches those techniques to others. Twice a year, she leads training seminars, shows new marshals how to breathe through confrontation, how to stay calm when everyone else panics. Tonight, none of that matters. Tonight, she is just a tired woman walking toward baggage claim. Her phone buzzes, a text from her mother. Boys are fed, Tyler asking when you're home. Angela smiles. Tyler and Miles, 8 years old. Twin tornadoes who demand pancakes every Saturday morning. She promised them chocolate chips this time. She texts back, landing soon. Kiss them for me. The terminal stretches ahead. Fluorescent lights wash everything pale. The smell of jet fuel mixes with coffee from a kiosk that closed an hour ago. Her rolling bag clicks against tile in a steady rhythm. Click, click, click. Angela grew up 15 minutes from this airport. Her mother worked as a baggage handler here for 22 years, retired now, watching grandchildren instead of loading cargo. The runways were Angela's lullaby. The departure boards were her first reading lessons. This place feels like home. She remembers being 6 years old, holding her mother's hand in this same terminal, watching planes taxi through the window, asking where they were going. Everywhere, baby, her mother said. Those planes go everywhere. Now Angela goes everywhere too. But she always comes back here. She knows the shortcuts, knows which security lines move fastest, knows the TSA agents by name. Morrison works the evening shift. Patterson handles the late crowd. They wave when they see her badge. On any other night, she would flash her credentials and walk through in 8 minutes. Tonight, the line at checkpoint 5 is short. 6 travelers, maybe 7. Angela joins the queue. Her credential wallet sits in her jacket pocket, waiting. She does not see the man watching her from the secondary screening area. Sergeant Derek Holloway stands with his arms crossed. 9 years on the Miami-Dade Airport Police. Shift supervisor. 3 prior excessive force complaints, all dismissed. His eyes track Angela as she approaches the conveyor belt. Something about her catches his attention. Maybe the way she carries herself. Maybe the confidence in her posture. Maybe something else entirely. He steps forward. Angela places her bag on the belt, removes her jacket, lays it flat for the scanner, waits for the TSA agent to wave her through. The agent nods. Routine. Unremarkable. Then a hand lands on her shoulder. "Ma'am, step aside. Random secondary screening." Angela turns. Holloway's badge glints under the fluorescent lights. His jaw is set. His eyes are flat. She has been through secondary screening before. Every traveler has. It takes 5 minutes. Answer questions. Open bags. Move on. "Of course," she says. "No problem." She reaches toward her jacket on the belt. Her credential wallet is in the pocket. One flash of that badge and this ends. Federal Air Marshal. 12 years. Impeccable record. Holloway's hand tightens on her shoulder. "Did I say you could move?" The checkpoint feels smaller now. Angela freezes. The terminal noise fades. Somewhere behind her, a child laughs. A suitcase wheel squeaks. The intercom announces a gate change. She looks at Holloway's face, sees something she recognizes, something she has trained other marshals to identify. Escalation. Angela keeps her voice level. 12 years of training compress into this moment. "Officer, I'm reaching for my identification. Federal credentials. Inside pocket." Holloway does not move his hand from her shoulder. His grip tightens. "I didn't ask for ID, I said step aside." "I understand, but if you check my credentials, you'll see—" "What I see is someone who doesn't follow instructions." The words land like stones. Angela feels the weight of them. The accusation beneath the surface, the assumption already made. 3 travelers freeze behind her. 2 of them hold phones. The screens glow. Recording lights blink red. Angela speaks slowly, clearly. The way she teaches new marshals to speak when situations turn volatile. "I am a federal law enforcement officer. My credentials are in my jacket pocket. I am going to retrieve them now." Her hand moves toward the jacket. Holloway moves faster. His fingers close around her throat. Not a push, not a shove, a grip. Thumb pressing against her windpipe, palm against her larynx. The pressure is immediate, controlled, deliberate. Angela's training takes over. She does not resist, does not fight. Resistance escalates. Fighting gives justification. She goes still, breathes through the constriction, keeps her eyes on his face. "Do not move." His voice is low, almost calm. "Do not reach for anything." The terminal seems to hold its breath. A woman gasps. A man shouts something. Angela cannot hear the words. Blood pounds in her ears. Camera 9 Delta records everything. Timestamp 21:46:33. The angle captures Holloway's hand. Angela's stillness. The shock on witnesses' faces. Denise Cooper, 29, holds her phone steady. She flew in from Chicago for her sister's wedding. She does not know what she is recording. She only knows it feels wrong. Deeply, viscerally wrong. Angela speaks through the pressure on her throat. Each word costs effort. "I am federal law enforcement." Holloway's other hand reaches for his cuffs. Metal clicks. The sound is sharp. Final. "Turn around, hands behind your back." Angela turns. Her wrists cross at the small of her back. Cold steel circles her skin. Ratchets tighten. Too tight. Regulation says 2 fingers of space. These allow none. She has cuffed suspects before. She knows how it feels from the other side. The vulnerability. The helplessness. The way the world shrinks to the space between your shoulder blades. A TSA supervisor approaches. His name tag reads Morrison. Angela has seen him before, waved to him on other nights. Shared small talk about weather and flight delays. Derek, what's going on? I know her. She's... Back off, Morrison. This is airport police business. Morrison hesitates. His eyes meet Angela's. She sees recognition, confusion, fear. He wants to help. He does not know how. He steps back. Holloway guides Angela through the checkpoint, past the scanners, past the travelers who stare, past the phones that track every step. The walk to the substation is 400 feet. It feels like miles. Angela counts floor tiles, focuses on her breathing, thinks of Tyler and Miles, thinks of chocolate chip pancakes, thinks of her mother's voice saying those planes go everywhere. Behind her, Denise Cooper's video already has 300 views. The caption reads, "Just watched an officer assault a woman at MIA for no reason. By midnight, it will have 40,000. By morning, 2 million. Angela does not know this yet. She only knows the substation door is ahead. And somewhere in her jacket, still sitting on the checkpoint belt, her credential wallet waits. The door opens. Holloway pushes her inside. The room smells like old coffee and industrial cleaner. A desk officer looks up from his computer. His eyebrows rise. What do we have? Non-compliant traveler, aggressive reach during secondary. Angela stands in the center of the room. Cuffed. Silent. Watching. She has subdued armed passengers at 30,000 feet. She has de-escalated situations that could have ended in blood. She has never drawn her weapon in the field. Now she waits. Because she knows something Derek Holloway does not. The truth always surfaces. The only question is how much damage happens first. The substation clock reads 9:48 p.m. Angela has been in cuffs for 2 minutes. It feels longer. Holloway stands by the door, arms crossed. His body camera runs. 4 minutes. 18 seconds of footage that will eventually become evidence. Right now, it is just a red light blinking on his chest. The desk officer, name tag reads Patterson, types something into his computer. His keystrokes are slow, methodical, Hunt and Peck. Each letter a small eternity. Name? Angela answers. Angela Dawson. Address? She gives it. A house in Coral Gables. 3 bedrooms. A backyard where Tyler and Miles chase each other until the sun sets. A kitchen where pancakes burn on Saturday mornings. Occupation? Federal employee. Patterson's fingers pause. He looks up. His chair creaks. Federal employee? What agency? Federal Air Marshal Service? The room goes quiet. The fluorescent lights hum. Holloway shifts his weight. His jaw tightens. Patterson's eyes move to Holloway, then back to Angela. You're saying you're a federal air marshal? I'm saying my credentials are in my jacket pocket, at checkpoint 5. If someone retrieves them, this ends. Holloway steps forward. She was reaching aggressively during screening. Standard procedure. Reaching for identification, Angela says. Her voice stays level, calm, measured. Which I announced verbally, twice. Patterson looks at Holloway again. Something passes between them. An unspoken question. A calculation. Derek, maybe we should verify. I'll handle verification. She stays here. Angela watches the exchange. The hierarchy. The protection. She has seen it before. The way institutions shield their own. The way questions get deflected. The way accountability becomes someone else's problem. Her wrists ache. The cuffs are tight. Red marks form where metal meets skin. Outside the substation, Terminal D continues its rhythm. Travelers board flights. Families reunite. The world moves on, indifferent. But Denise Cooper's video is moving too. 15 minutes after the arrest, it crosses 10,000 views. Comments flood in. What did she do? Why is no one helping? This is assault. Where is this? Someone identifies the terminal. Miami International. Another commenter tags a local news station. A third posts a screenshot with the caption, "Anyone know this officer?" The internet does what it does. It watches. It remembers. It does not forgive. Inside the substation, Angela hears none of this. She only hears Patterson's keyboard, Holloway's breathing, the hum of fluorescent lights, the tick of the clock on the wall. Morrison, the TSA supervisor, appears in the doorway. His face is pale. Sweat beads on his forehead. "Derek, there's a situation. I'm busy. The video is everywhere. My supervisor is calling. The terminal manager wants a statement. Corporate is asking questions." Holloway's composure cracks. Just for a moment. A flicker of something in his eyes. Doubt, or fear, or calculation. Then it seals shut again. "Tell them I followed procedure. She was non-compliant." Morrison does not move. "Derek, I know her. She's been through this terminal dozens of times. I've seen her credentials. She's what? A frequent flyer? That doesn't exempt anyone from screening." "She's a federal marshal." The words hang in the air. Patterson stops typing. The clock seems to tick louder. Holloway's voice is flat. "She claims to be a federal marshal. That's different." Angela speaks, still calm, still level, still the voice she uses to talk down armed passengers. "Call the Federal Air Marshal Service Operations Center. Give them my name and badge number 6291. They will confirm everything." Patterson reaches for the phone. Holloway's hand lands on his arm. "I said I'll handle it." "Derek." Patterson's voice is careful, quiet. "If she's telling the truth, then we'll find out when I'm ready. Not before." Angela watches the power struggle. The desk officer who wants to verify. The sergeant who wants control. The choice that will define everything after. She thinks of Tyler, 8 years old, learning right from wrong, learning that honesty matters, learning that people in uniform are there to help. What would he think if he saw this room? She thinks of Miles, the quiet one, the observer, the boy who watches everything and says little. What would he carry from this moment? "Call the operations center," Angela says. "That's all I'm asking. One phone call, 90 seconds. Then you'll know." Silence stretches. The clock ticks. Patterson's hand hovers over the phone. Then Patterson pulls his arm free, picks up the receiver, dials. Holloway watches. His jaw works. His fists clench at his sides. But he does not stop it. He cannot stop it. Not with Morrison in the doorway. Not with the video spreading. The phone rings twice. A voice answers. "Federal Air Marshal Service, Operations Center." Patterson speaks. "This is Officer Patterson, Miami-Dade Airport Police. I need to verify the identity of a detained individual. Name, Angela Dawson." A pause. Keys clicking on the other end. The sound of a database loading. "Badge number?" Patterson looks at Angela. She recites it from memory. 6291. More clicking. A longer pause. The silence feels heavy. Then the voice on the other end changes, sharpens. Professional courtesy replaced by something harder. "Hold, please. I'm transferring you to a supervisor." Patterson's face shifts. He looks at Holloway. Holloway looks at the floor. Angela waits. Her wrists ache. Her throat still feels the ghost of fingers, but something in the room has changed. The balance has tipped. The hold music plays, tinny and distant. A jazz standard she almost recognizes. Then a new voice, clear, authoritative. The voice of someone who does not ask questions, who answers them. "This is Supervisor Reynolds, Federal Air Marshal Service. To whom am I speaking?" Patterson holds the phone like it might bite him. Officer Patterson, sir. Miami-Dade Airport Police. We have a woman in custody claiming to be one of yours. Name and badge number? Angela Dawson. Badge 6291. Silence on the line. Then the sound of keys. A database loading. 90 seconds of nothing. The longest 90 seconds of Derek Holloway's career. Angela watches him. His confidence is eroding. She can see it in his posture, the way his shoulders have dropped, the way his eyes avoid hers, the way his hand keeps reaching toward his belt, then stopping. Reynolds speaks again. Angela Dawson, badge 6291, active duty, 12 years of service, impeccable record, 2 commendations for incident de-escalation, 0 complaints, 0 disciplinary actions. Patterson swallows. So she's one of ours. Why is she in custody? There was an incident at the checkpoint, secondary screening, and altercation. What kind of altercation? Patterson looks at Holloway. Holloway says nothing. His face has gone gray. Officer Patterson, I asked you a question. What kind of altercation? Angela answers for him. Her voice carries across the room. Clear, steady. The voice of 12 years and 43 pages. Sergeant Holloway placed his hand around my throat during a routine screening. I was attempting to present my federal credentials. I announced my intention verbally, twice. He restrained me and placed me in handcuffs. The line goes silent. When Reynolds speaks again, his voice has changed. Cold, precise. The voice of a man who has heard enough. Put the sergeant on the phone. Patterson extends the receiver. Holloway takes it. His hand shakes, barely visible. But Angela sees it. This is Sergeant Holloway. Sergeant, this is Supervisor Reynolds, Federal Air Marshal Service. You are currently detaining a federal law enforcement officer with 12 years of service and an exemplary record. You are going to release her immediately. You are going to return her property, and you are going to pray that the footage from tonight shows something other than what I think it shows. Holloway's face drains of color. The fluorescent lights make him look old, tired, small. Sir, there were concerns about... Release her. Now. The line goes dead. Holloway stands frozen. Patterson watches. Morrison watches from the doorway. Angela waits. Then Holloway moves. His hand reaches for the cuff key on his belt. The metal jingles. Small sound. Enormous weight. He steps behind Angela. The key slides into the lock, turns. The cuffs fall open. Angela brings her hands forward, rolls her wrists. Red marks circle her skin where the metal pressed too tight. She does not rub them, does not acknowledge the pain, does not give him the satisfaction. She turns to face Holloway. He cannot meet her eyes. Angela says nothing. There is nothing to say. The silence speaks everything. Morrison retrieves her jacket from the checkpoint. Her credential wallet is still in the pocket. She opens it. The badge catches the light. Federal Air Marshal, 12 years. The truth that was there all along. She walks toward the door, passes Holloway, passes Patterson, passes Morrison. At the threshold, she stops, turns. The badge saved me tonight. Her voice is quiet, steady. Think about everyone who walks through that checkpoint without one. Then she is gone, into the terminal, into the night, into a story that is only beginning. Behind her, Derek Holloway stands in a substation that suddenly feels very small. His career is already ending. He just does not know it yet. 3 days pass. The video does not stop. Denise Cooper's footage has crossed 2 million views. News stations run it on loop. The image of Holloway's hand on Angela's throat becomes a symbol, a talking point, a flashpoint. Local anchors dissect the footage frame by frame. Legal analysts debate use of force. Social media erupts with opinions, accusations, demands. Sandra Mitchell watches the video at her desk in the Miami Herald newsroom. 11 years covering police accountability. Hundreds of FOIA requests filed. Dozens of stories that changed nothing, and a few that changed everything. She knows a pattern when she sees one. Her phone call to Angela is brief, professional, direct. Ms. Dawson, my name is Sandra Mitchell. I'm an investigative journalist with the Herald. I've been covering law enforcement accountability for over a decade. I believe your case is part of something larger. I'd like to meet. Angela hesitates. 3 days of silence. 3 days of calls from supervisors. 3 days of Tyler and Miles asking why Mommy seems tired. What do you mean by larger? I mean Sergeant Holloway has a history, and the department has been protecting him. They meet at a coffee shop in Little Havana. Neutral ground. Afternoon light filters through dirty windows. Sandra brings a folder thick with documents. Angela brings 12 years of watching systems work. The folder contains 3 complaint files, all against Derek Holloway. All dismissed. If you're still with me, drop a comment about what you think happens next. Your theories matter. Sandra spreads the documents across the table. Coffee cups pushed aside. The paper tells a story. 2019. A black businessman detained for 45 minutes during secondary screening. His complaint cited aggressive physical handling and demeaning language. He described being shoved against a wall, his shoulder bruised for weeks. The internal investigation found the allegations unfounded. The businessman's lawyer settled quietly. The file was sealed. The man never flew through Miami again. 2020. A black college student grabbed by the arm during a bag check. Her complaint described being shoved against a wall for asking why she was being detained. She was 19, home from Howard University for spring break. The bruises on her arm took 2 weeks to fade. Internal investigation. Unfounded. Her mother tried to contact local media. No one returned the calls. 2021. A black grandmother questioned for 40 minutes after a routine scan. Her grandson recorded part of the encounter on his phone. The video showed Holloway's hand on her shoulder, pushing her toward a screening area. She was returning from a funeral in New York. Her husband of 42 years. Internal investigation. Unfounded. The video never went viral. She was 73 years old. She stopped flying. 3 complaints, 3 black travelers, 3 dismissals. Sandra taps the files. See the pattern? Angela sees it. The names change. The stories rhyme. How did you get these? FOIA. It took 6 months. The department fought every request, delayed, redacted, appealed. They did not want these files public. Angela picks up the 2019 file. The businessman's name is redacted, black marker over black ink, but the details are there. The checkpoint, the language, the dismissal. They knew, Angela says. They promoted him anyway. He made sergeant 2 years ago, after the 2nd complaint, before the 3rd. The coffee grows cold. Outside, Miami traffic hums. Horns honk. Life continues. Inside, a picture takes shape. Sandra pulls out another document. Union arbitration records. 3 disciplinary actions against Holloway. Overtime abuse, insubordination, failure to follow protocol. All reversed by the police union. All wiped from his official record. All erased like they never happened. The union protected him, Sandra says. Every time. Every case. Every complaint. Angela thinks of the substation, the way Patterson looked at Holloway, the hierarchy, the hesitation, the unspoken rules. Who signed off on the promotions? Who approved the dismissals? Sandra points to a name on the documents. Captain Raymond Foster, Airport Police Commander. 19 years on the force. His signature appears on every complaint dismissal, every arbitration reversal, every promotion letter. Foster is the gatekeeper, Sandra says. Nothing happens without his approval. Nothing. The investigation expands. Sandra files new FOIA requests, personnel files, budget reports, overtime records, training documentation, internal communications. Angela provides her account. Every detail, every word, every second of those 2 minutes in the substation. She holds nothing back. Gloria Henderson enters the picture. Angela's childhood neighbor. 61 years old, community organizer. She ran voter registration drives when Angela was in high school. She organized protests when the county tried to close the community center. "Baby girl, I watched you grow up," Gloria says. "I was there when you graduated high school, when you got into the academy, when your mama threw that party. You think I'm going to let this pass?" She starts making calls, organizing meetings, gathering voices. The first community forum draws 40 people, folding chairs in a church basement, fluorescent lights, stale coffee, real anger. The second draws 100, standing room only, local news cameras outside. By the third, 200 fill that same church basement in Overtown. Overflow crowds watch on screens in the parking lot. Angela speaks, tells her story, the checkpoint, the hand, the cuffs, the phone call. Then she steps back. Because this was never just about her. Others speak, the businessman's sister, the college student's mother, the grandmother herself, 75 now, walking with a cane, voice still strong. "He put his hand on me," the grandmother says. Her name is Beatrice. She refuses to be anonymous. "I was coming home from burying my husband, 42 years married. I was tired, I was grieving, I was old. He put his hand on me like I was nothing." The room is silent, then applause, then tears. Sandra records everything, documents everything. The pattern becomes undeniable. Day 12. The FOIA responses arrive. Personnel files show Holloway received commendations in the same years as his complaints. Outstanding officer, leadership potential, promoted despite or because of his aggressive approach. Day 19. The body camera footage that was supposed to be corrupted? Sandra's source in the IT department confirms it was never transferred. The original files exist on storage drives. Intact. Complete. 4 minutes and 18 seconds of truth. Day 26. An anonymous whistleblower provides copies. Sandra verifies authenticity. Every frame preserved. The footage shows exactly what Angela described. The reach for credentials. The announcement. The hand closing on her throat. It shows Holloway's face. Calm, controlled, certain. And it shows Angela. Still, silent. Waiting. The video goes to the Herald's legal team, then to the FBI, then to everyone. Day 30. The pattern is public. The evidence is overwhelming. The question becomes, what happens next? Angela returns to the community forum. 200 faces watch her, waiting, hoping. "This was never about one officer," she says. "This was about a system that let him happen, that protected him, that promoted him. We're not done. We're just getting started." The applause shakes the walls, but somewhere across the city, that system is preparing to fight back. The union responds first. Day 32. A statement from the Miami-Dade Police Benevolent Association appears in every local outlet. The language is careful. Lawyers reviewed every word. The message is clear. Sergeant Holloway acted within department policy when confronting a potentially non-compliant individual. The rush to judgment in this case undermines the safety of all officers who serve our community. We call for calm, fairness, and due process. Sandra reads the statement 3 times. Potentially non-compliant. She knows how that phrase works. It shifts the question, makes Angela the subject instead of Holloway, makes the victim the problem. The counter-narrative builds. Anonymous sources leak information to sympathetic outlets. Angela was flagged in a security database. Angela had been combative during previous screenings. Angela was known to be difficult with authority. All of it false, none of it verified. But it spreads anyway. Screenshots and shares, comments and reposts. The lie travels faster than the truth can chase it. Angela's phone buzzes with texts from friends, old classmates, distant relatives. Is it true you were flagged? Did you really have incidents before? What aren't you telling us? She stops answering. Day 34. Her supervisor at the Federal Air Marshal Service calls. Angela, we need to talk. The conversation is brief, bureaucratic, final. There are concerns about her public profile. The agency cannot appear to take sides in a local dispute. She is encouraged to step back from media engagement. Step back? Angela's voice tightens. I was assaulted by a police officer, on camera, in uniform. What am I supposed to step back from? The agency has to remain neutral. Neutral means silent. Silent means complicit. The call ends poorly. Her active duty status goes under review. 6 weeks without a flight assignment. 6 weeks of desk duty and sideways glances. 6 weeks of watching other marshals board planes while she files paperwork. Day 37. The body camera footage becomes a new battleground. The department claims the original files were corrupted during standard transfer protocols. The IT department cannot explain how backup copies appeared. An internal investigation is launched into the leak, not the assault. Angela hears the message clearly. Find the whistleblower. Punish the truth-teller. Protect the institution. Captain Raymond Foster gives his first public statement, standing behind a podium, uniform pressed, American flag behind him, voice measured and calm. This department takes all complaints seriously. We have cooperated fully with federal authorities. Sergeant Holloway has been placed on administrative leave pending investigation. However, we must remember that all individuals deserve the presumption of innocence. Trial by media serves no one. Sandra watches the press conference, notes what Foster does not say. No acknowledgement of the footage, no discussion of prior complaints, no accountability, no apology. Angela watches too. From her living room, Tyler and Miles playing in the background. Their laughter feels distant, like it belongs to another life. Mom, why are you watching that man again? She turns off the television. Day 40. The attacks become personal. Pro-police social media accounts target Angela by name. They dig into her past. Her divorce, 5 years ago, amicable, irrelevant. Her finances, modest, ordinary, unremarkable. Her neighborhood, working class, mostly black, somehow suspicious. They post photos of her house with captions questioning her lifestyle. They screenshot her old social media posts. They twist innocent words into accusations. Comment sections fill with venom. She's doing this for money. Federal employees don't get assaulted for no reason. What really happened at that checkpoint? She probably resisted and they edited the video. Some of the accounts are anonymous. Others have names, photos, followers. The vitriol is organized, coordinated, professional. Angela stops reading, but she knows the comments are there, knows they spread, knows people believe them. Her mother calls. Baby, I'm seeing things online, people saying terrible things. Are you okay? Angela lies. I'm fine, Mama. Don't worry about me. But she is not fine. The legal fees accumulate. $8,000 to her civil rights attorney, $4,000 in lost overtime. Her savings account shrinks by the week. Day 43. She sits alone in her kitchen at 2 a.m. The house is quiet. Tyler and Miles are asleep. The refrigerator hums. She thinks about dropping the case. Thinks about going back to work. Thinks about making this all disappear. Thinks about pretending it never happened. Then she thinks about the grandmother with the cane, the college student who never got a call back, the businessman whose file is sealed. She thinks about every traveler who walks through Checkpoint 5. The ones without badges, the ones without cameras, the ones who disappear into statistics. Angela does not drop the case, but the cost keeps climbing. In a city hall office across town, Captain Foster meets with union representatives. The conversation is private. No minutes recorded. No witnesses present. When it ends, a new strategy emerges. Delay. Discredit. Wait for the news cycle to move on. They have done it before. They can do it again. The system is pushing back. It has resources. Lawyers. Time. Angela Dawson has 2 8-year-old boys who ask why mommy seems sad. Saturday morning. The pancakes are burning. Angela stands at the stove. The smoke alarm screams. Tyler runs in with his hands over his ears. Miles stands in the doorway, watching. "Mom! The pancakes!" She snaps back, grabs the pan, burns her finger on the handle, drops the pan in the sink. Batter splatters across the counter. The kitchen fills with smoke. The alarm keeps screaming. Angela stands there, hand throbbing, eyes wet. "Mom?" Tyler's voice is small, scared. "Are you crying?" She is not crying. She is not crying. She will not cry in front of her children. "I'm fine, baby. Just smoke. Go open a window." Tyler runs. Miles does not move. He stands in the doorway, watching. The quiet twin. The observer. "Mom, did that man really hurt you?" Angela turns. Her 8-year-old son looks at her with eyes that see too much, eyes that carry questions he should not have to ask. "What man, baby?" "The one on TV. The one who grabbed you. At the airport." She did not know they had seen. She was so careful. Turned off the television when they were near, closed the laptop when they walked past, muted her phone when the notifications came. But children hear. Children know. Children carry what adults try to hide. Angela kneels, takes Miles's hands in hers. Her burned finger stings. "A man made a mistake," she says. "Sometimes people make mistakes, even grown-ups, even people who are supposed to help." Did he say sorry? The question breaks something in her chest. Simple, innocent, devastating. "Not yet, baby. But that's why Mommy is working so hard, so people say sorry when they make mistakes, so it doesn't happen to someone else." Miles thinks about this. 8 years old, processing justice and injustice, right and wrong, the gap between what should happen and what does. "I think he should say sorry," Miles says finally, "and mean it." "Me too, baby. Me too." That night, after the boys are asleep, Angela sits in the dark living room. The television is off. The phone is silent. The house breathes around her. She has not flown in 6 weeks. Her credential wallet sits in a drawer. Her service weapon is locked in a safe she has not opened. Still with me? Drop a comment. What would you do in Angela's position? What is the point? The question surfaces unbidden. What is she actually fighting for? Holloway is on paid leave. Foster is still commander. The union is still powerful. The system is still the system. Nothing has changed. Nothing will change. Her phone lights up. A text from Sandra. Check email. Something you need to see. Angela does not move. The phone dims. Lights up again. Angela. Trust me. Check email. She reaches for the phone. Opens email. One new message from Sandra. Subject line. He did the same thing to me. Angela reads. A woman from Tallahassee. a layover at MIA 2 years ago. Holloway detained her for wearing suspicious clothing. A head wrap, traditional, beautiful, suspicious to no one but him. She never filed a complaint, thought no one would believe her. Saw Angela's video and recognized the checkpoint, the posture, the hand. Below the first email, 3 more. A man from Jacksonville, a woman from Orlando, a teenager from Tampa. Same checkpoint, same officer, same dismissals they never knew were coming. 4 people, 4 stories, all watching Angela's fight, all recognizing their own. Angela sits in the dark. The phone glows in her hands. At her lowest point, she could not know that across the state, strangers were finding the courage she thought she had lost. The emails keep coming. Day 45. Sandra's inbox holds 17 messages, all variations of the same story, different names, different years, same officer, same outcome. They build a timeline together. Sandra with her spreadsheets, Angela with her memory, Gloria with her organizing skills. 2023. Each year, new incidents. Each year, no consequences. Angela reads every account, memorizes the details, the grandmother with the cane, the teenager in the head wrap, the businessman who settled quietly, the college student whose mother was ignored. They are not alone anymore. Sandra publishes part 2 of her investigation. The headline runs across the Herald's front page. Pattern of Force, How One Officer's History Was Buried. The document trove goes public. Complaint files, arbitration records, promotion letters. The evidence is overwhelming. National outlets pick up the story. CNN, MSNBC, The New York Times. Angela's face appears on screens across the country. But more importantly, other faces appear too. Day 48. Gloria Henderson fills the church basement again. This time 300 people, standing room only. Overflow in the parking lot. Local news vans lined up outside. The 4 new victims stand with Angela. Different ages, different cities. United by the same checkpoint, the same officer, the same system that failed them. The nurse from Tallahassee speaks first. Her voice shakes, then steadies. I was scared to come forward. Scared no one would believe me. Scared of what they might do. But I saw Angela's face on that video, and I knew. I knew I wasn't alone. The retired postal worker from Jacksonville nods. They told me my complaint was unfounded. They told me to move on. They told me to forget. But I never forgot. I never could. The college student is 23 now, graduated from Howard, working in public health, still carrying what happened at Checkpoint 5. He made me feel like nothing, she says. Like I didn't matter. Like my voice didn't count. Like my body wasn't mine. Angela listens. Each story adds weight. Each voice strengthens the whole. When she speaks, the room goes silent. The complaint files said unfounded. The people in this room say otherwise. Applause, tears, hands reaching for other hands. Day 50. The Department of Justice Civil Rights Division announces a preliminary inquiry. Federal investigators arrive in Miami. They meet with Sandra, with Angela, with every victim willing to speak. Captain Foster cancels a scheduled press conference. No explanation given. Day 52. 3 civil rights attorneys offer pro bono representation. They file a joint complaint on behalf of 7 victims. The document runs 42 pages. The coalition grows. Pastors, professors, former officers who left the department in disgust. Each addition makes the movement harder to ignore. Angela attends a strategy meeting. 12 people around a table. Sandra with her notebook. Gloria with her phone, coordinating volunteers. Attorney James Whitfield reviewing legal filings. We have momentum, Whitfield says, but momentum fades. We need something definitive, Something that makes this impossible to bury. Sandra nods. I have one more faux IA request pending. Budget documents, overtime reports. Angela remembers Sandra mentioning this before, months ago. A throwaway comment about budget irregularities. What exactly are you looking for? Sandra's smile is thin, sharp. Follow the money, Angela. Always follow the money. Day 54. The documents arrive. Sandra spreads them across her desk. Fiscal year 2023. Overtime expenditures. Miami-Dade Airport Police Division. The numbers tell a story. Total overtime budget, $1.8 million. Actual expenditures, $4.1 million. A discrepancy of $2.3 million. Sandra traces the records line by line. The overtime is concentrated among 12 officers, all assigned to Terminal D, all under Captain Foster's command. Derek Holloway sits at the top of the list. In 2023 alone, Holloway logged 843 overtime hours. Average for his unit, 3 and 12. His overtime pay exceeded his base salary by $62,000. Sandra calls Angela. Are you sitting down? Angela sits. Every stop Holloway made generated paperwork. Paperwork required processing time. Processing time qualified for overtime pay. The pattern crystallizes. The aggressive screenings, the detentions, the complaints dismissed and buried. None of it was random. It was profitable. Each non-compliant traveler meant 2 to 4 hours of overtime. Each complaint investigation meant more paperwork. Each arbitration hearing meant more billable hours. Holloway was not just aggressive. He was incentivized. Sandra runs the numbers across 7 years. Conservative estimate. Holloway collected over $180,000 in overtime above his peers. All approved by Captain Foster. All funded by taxpayers. The department didn't just protect him, Sandra says. They paid him to do this. Angela sits in her kitchen, the same kitchen where she burned pancakes, the same table where Miles asked if the man had said sorry. How is this possible? How did no one catch this? Because catching it meant admitting the system worked exactly as designed. The aggressive stops generated overtime. The overtime inflated budgets. The inflated budgets justified more funding. Everyone benefited, except the travelers. Day 56. Sandra's third investigative piece runs. The headline, Following the Money. How overtime fraud enabled a pattern of abuse. The story includes charts, graphics, names, numbers. The evidence is irrefutable. Within hours, the Department of Justice expands its inquiry to a full civil rights investigation. Pattern or practice, the legal term for systemic failure. Captain Foster is placed on administrative leave. 2 assistant commanders follow. The union issues no statement. Day 58. A forensic accountant hired by the Herald testifies before a federal grand jury. The overtime records, the approval patterns, the correlation between complaints and pay. Angela watches the news from her living room. Tyler and Miles are at school. The house is quiet. On screen, a federal prosecutor stands on courthouse steps. Today, we have convened a grand jury to examine potential civil rights violations and financial misconduct within the Miami-Dade Airport Police Division. The evidence suggests a pattern of abuse that was not only tolerated but materially rewarded by the institution. Angela's phone buzzes. Text from Sandra. Court date set. Federal Court, Southern District. They want you to testify. Angela looks at her credential wallet, still in the drawer, still carrying the badge that saved her. Day 60. She takes the wallet out, opens it. The badge catches the light. Federal Air Marshal. 12 years. She puts the wallet in her jacket pocket. The same jacket from that night. Time to finish this. Federal Courthouse. Downtown Miami. Day 62. Angela walks through security. The metal detector beeps. She shows her credentials. Federal Air Marshal. 12 years. The security guard nods. Professional courtesy. She wears the same jacket from that night. The one with the pocket where her credential wallet sat, ignored, while Holloway's hand closed on her throat. The courtroom is wood-paneled. Heavy. Old. American flags stand in the corners. The weight of institutional authority presses down from every surface. Attorney James Whitfield sits at the plaintiff's table. Beside him, folders containing 4 years of evidence. Body camera footage, complaint files, financial records, victim statements. Derek Holloway sits across the aisle, his union lawyer beside him. He wears a suit, not a uniform. Gray, ill-fitting. He looks smaller without the badge. He does not look at Angela. Judge Patricia Coleman presides. Federal bench. 23 years. Known for efficiency and intolerance of nonsense. Whitfield presents the case methodically. Each receipt laid bare. The body camera footage plays on a monitor. 4 minutes. 18 seconds. Holloway's hand rising. Angela's stillness. The words she spoke, clear as the day she said them. I am a federal officer. My credentials are in my jacket. The courtroom watches. Some look away. One juror wipes her eyes. Victim statements enter the record. The grandmother with the cane. The nurse in the head wrap. The college student who carried shame for years. Their words fill the room, each voice a stone added to the scale. Holloway's attorney rises for the defense. His voice is measured, reasonable. Sergeant Holloway followed his training. He acted on reasonable suspicion. The individual in question made a movement toward her clothing. In an airport environment, such movements require immediate response. Judge Coleman's expression does not change. Counsel, the individual in question announced her intention verbally, twice. The footage confirms this. Do you have additional evidence to present? A pause. No, Your Honor. The financial records enter the record. Overtime discrepancies. Approval patterns, the correlation between aggressive stops and pay. Whitfield summarizes. This was not an isolated incident. This was a business model. Sergeant Holloway was paid to be aggressive. Captain Foster approved the payments. The department looked away because the system was functioning exactly as designed to generate overtime at the expense of travelers' civil rights. Judge Coleman reviews the evidence. Minutes pass. The courtroom holds its breath. Then her ruling. The court grants injunctive relief. Sergeant Derek Holloway is barred from law enforcement duties pending full trial. The evidence presented establishes probable cause for federal civil rights charges. This matter is referred to the grand jury with the court's recommendation for indictment. Angela hears the words, feels their weight, does not react. Whitfield continues. Additionally, Your Honor, the Department of Justice has informed us that a pattern or practice investigation into the Miami-Dade Airport Police Division will proceed. Coleman nods. So noted. This court will monitor compliance. We are adjourned. The gavel falls. The sound echoes. Angela stands, walks toward the exit, or passes Holloway's table. For one moment, their eyes meet. He looks away first. Day 90. Derek Holloway is terminated. Pension forfeited. Federal trial pending. Captain Raymond Foster resigns. His signature appears on too many documents. His career ends with a letter, not a ceremony. The department announces reforms. Independent Oversight Board. Revised body camera policy. Complaint review process restructured. Small changes. First steps. Angela receives an offer. Reinstatement with back pay. Full active duty status restored. She accepts. With one condition. Transfer to the training division. She will teach de-escalation now. Show new marshals what she knows. How to read situations. How to stay calm. How to choose different. Tyler and Miles make her a card. construction paper and crayon, glitter that gets everywhere. It says, "Mom is brave." She hangs it on the refrigerator, looks at it every morning. The badge saved her that night, the one in her pocket, the one that made Holloway's face drain of color. But the real badge, the one that mattered, was her refusal to stay silent. Angela Dawson was protected by her credentials. 12 years, 43 pages. One phone call that ended everything. But what about everyone at that checkpoint who doesn't carry them? The grandmother with the cane, the teenager in the head wrap, the businessman who settled quietly. What about them? His hand was on her throat. He had no idea. Now everyone does. If this story mattered to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Like and subscribe so you do not miss what comes next. Because the next story is already waiting.